All right, without further ado, let us begin the morning ritual. The first 5 minutes we're going to spend getting into our heart space and becoming coherent, and then we will discuss today's interesting point that I want to make. I'm excited about today's point that I want to make. All right, wonderful. Let us first begin. This is a technique that's a heart math technique that is heart focused breathing. So we place our awareness in the area of our heart, and then we take slow deep breaths, and just visualize these flowing in and out of our hearts. And to help us, we have an animation here that you may choose to follow or choose not to follow. That's entirely up to you. But essentially, what we want to do is as the little ball goes up and down, you take a deep breath in as it goes up, and then you exhale as the ball goes down. And this keeps pace. And so what you do is you keep focusing on your heart and draw in the breath, visualize this breath flowing into your heart, and begin to take a deep breath in as it reaches the top and exhale. So let's do this for the next 4 minutes. Deep breath in, exhale. Visualize this flowing in and out of your heart. Our friends in Germany and Austria, this will help you go to sleep better tonight. And interestingly enough, it's like an adaptogen. Those who are waking up in the morning right now, this is going to help kickstart your day. So this is almost like an adaptogen, is what they call when you talk about herbs that actually help either regulate your metabolism. Uh, Whether if it needs a boost, it boosts, and if it needs to slow down, it slows down, and your body regulates that. Continue this deep breathing technique. It's a very simple technique. You can do this while you're driving. You can do this in the shower or while you're walking. Breath in and out. Wonderful. 2 more minutes of this. Breath in. Exhale. Wonderful. Now feel free to take breaths that are even deeper. So when that ball hits the apex of this sine wave, you can continue to keep taking deep breaths in and not stop there. This is just meant as a guide, but take it as comfortably as you can, but do it deeper than you normally have. And the whole idea is to take your body into that state of balance and slowing it down so that you have a lot more time in between heartbeats to make the decisions you need to make or explore avenues uh, of alternatives. And that's what this does, is it actually slows your body down. All right, let's stop right there for now. We will do another 5 minutes of a different technique where we'll add the emotion into it. And let's now discuss this today's topic is perception is reality. I wanted to share with you, and feel free to type your comments into the chat box at any time. I'm reading that. But Dr. Bruce Lipton did a stem cell experiment in 1967. And what he did was he put a stem cell and he allowed the stem cell to duplicate, and then stem cells divide. And these are this happens, this is in nature. So he took a stem cell and allowed it to just divide until he had tens of thousands of these stem cells. And all of them have the same DNA. So what he did was he separated them into three petri dishes. And each one of the petri dishes, he put what he called a culture medium on it, which means that all the stem cells were exactly the same in three different dishes, but what the environment covering the stem cell, which represented something that you would your cells in your body would be covered with blood, and in this case, the environment that he covered it was plasma. Like substance, which means it emulated blood-like condition. So stem cells in blood, basically, it's bathing in your body, basically. So he took these three petri dishes and he put a different culture medium. He added something different in each one of them. And he expected that they would all produce the same outcome because they were exactly the same DNA. But what he found was that in one petri dish, bone was being produced by the stem cells. It actually produced bone. The other one produced muscle. And the third one produced fat. So he started scratching his head, saying, hang on a second, it's the same DNA. If there was a genetic fault in the DNA, that genetic fault would have happened no matter what the environment was. So what he discovered from this is in 1967, that it is the environment that triggers your genes. Now, he actually had to stop teaching medical school because a prevailing thought during 1967, and you can read all about this in his book, Biology of Belief. He's got a 10-year, a new edition. It's a 10-year edition that's just come out. He was, you can look him up, Bruce Lipton. Anyways, what he did was he had to quit medical school because the prevailing thought there was that genes actually determine your health and your reality. And what he discovered was no, it was the environment that actually triggers the genes to produce something. And depending on the environment, the genes produce something totally different. So in one case, it produced fat cells were induced, the other one bone, and the other one muscle. So how do we use this in our everyday life? By the way, there's a new science called epigenetics. And I'm going to type this in, look it up. This is exactly what, let me just do this. Yeah, yeah. So this is exactly what new science is revealing now. They're actually coming up with a new category of science called epigenetics, which did not exist in that name in 1967. This is what Dr. Bruce Lipton determined, but now it's called epigenetics. So let's talk about how this affects our today. Dr. Bruce Lipton found that and I apologize for the font here. I don't know why it messed up, but let me read it to you. It says, when people are in love, the brain is releasing a cocktail of chemicals, including growth hormones. So when people are in love, they have so much health that they glow. So positive emotions creates a healthy body. And that's the perception. When we have positive emotions, our body senses that we're perceiving something positive, and the body responds because there's chemicals in the blood that are being released when you're having positive thoughts. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. When you see something that scares you, you release stress hormones and inflammatory agents that affect the immune system, which means that when you are scared or stressed out, you have an immune system that's depressed. And so how do we apply this in our everyday life? Is when we are upset at somebody, for example. When we're upset at them, we are actually reducing our own immune system functioning. And so as a result, and remember, it's just a perception. We can choose not to be angry at somebody. We can choose to be in balance and and approach the situation from a state of neutrality rather than having that shooting our immune system down. And that's really the point that I wanted to make in this brief 5-minute presentation, is that you can actually change your perception. So is it possible to consciously shift your emotions? Because when things are happening around you, can you possibly shift your perception so that your body does not your immune system is not compromised? And of course, the answer is yes. Because if the answer was no, we would end this conversation right now, and you would unsubscribe from everything I have to say from here on. So let us quickly talk to you about the next step we're going to do. In the next 5 minutes, we are going to do this. We're going to do a quick coherence technique, which actually helps you Begin the process of shifting your perception. So we'll do the first two steps, which is what we just practiced. Place awareness in the area of your heart. And the second one is actually take slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. And then the third thing we'll do is experience a positive feeling, such as love, appreciation, and peace. Remembering what Dr. Bruce Lipton said is when we have this positive feeling, we can actually feel uh, our bodies will actually release the proper hormones that will help us boost our immune system. So let us take 5 minutes and do that today, kickstart our day, and we will do the same thing. We will follow the ball, and we will add the third step on this. So the heart focus, then we heart breathe through our hearts, like we did. And then the third thing we're going to do is experience a positive feeling. So let us take a deep breath in, visualize this flowing into our heart, exhale, flowing out of our hearts. Inhale into our heart, exhale, flowing out of our hearts, or any pace that helps you keep that wonderful rhythm that flows in and out of your heart. And just add one more item to this. Bring forward a feeling. It doesn't have to be something that you're experiencing now, although it would be wonderful if you were experiencing a positive feeling or an inner calm feeling right now. But bring forward, remember a time when this happened to you, when you were just in ecstasy or joy or a wonderful thought. Bring that into your heart now because your body does not know the difference between something that you're bringing forward and you're feeling it and something that has happened in the past. It doesn't know the difference between whether it's happening in the present or in the past, or it's something that you project into the future that hasn't happened, but you're having amazing thoughts about the possibilities. All those things, your body doesn't differentiate between them. So why not bring that forward right now and experience that positive feeling as you're taking these deep breaths in and exhaling from this. You do this for 5 to 15 minutes a day, and you will join thousands of people that have experienced amazing results from this, including reducing the medications that they need to take because their body begins to absorb the medications more efficiently. So you have to take less of them, and in some cases, people have dropped off meds. So this is 5 to 15 minutes a day is all you need. Continue to take this deep breaths in, exhale, and remember the positive feeling. So anytime you're confronted with a situation that makes you feel angry or stressed out or fear creeps in, take these three steps right in the same moment and you will see that fear melt away and you will gain a better perspective. These three techniques. So that's your exercise for the week as you take deep breaths in, exhale. Your exercise for the week is to do this three-step heart quick coherence technique, which is a heart math technique. Do this for 5 to 15 minutes a day. Perhaps do it as you're waking up in the morning, in the shower, driving to work, driving back from work, and do it when you're feeling stress coming on or some sort of fear, anxiety coming on. Do this at that time. You will see it dissolve, and you'll make clear decisions. Deep breaths in, exhale. We'll do this for just under one more minute. Exhale. Wonderful. Those 15 minutes went by quickly for me. And so I want to thank you for joining me. We are now getting into the Q&A mode. If you have any questions, otherwise, if you have to go, please, I won't feel bad at all if you exit. But if you have any questions, please type them into the chat area and I'll be happy to address it. And if I can't address it, I will look it up and I will get back to you. So if any of you have a question, let's type it. So one of the things that while I'm waiting for questions to come in, one of the things that I've noticed is that whenever I hear somebody say that this person did something or this person has been doing something, and it angers that person who's reflecting that to me, I have two choices. I have one choice of saying I can join you in that anger and say, yeah, that I know that person, and that person is capable of doing that, and I get into that angry phase. And often what I found, 9 times out of 10, my experience has been that when I take a neutral stand with this technique and go and talk to them and try and understand them from where they're coming from, it is actually more productive because that person actually feels supported. And if that person is doing something that is inappropriate, that person is more receptive to changing that behavior because you're approaching them in a sense that you're not attacking them. And that's the whole point. No one wakes up in the morning and says, today I'm going to screw up. Everybody wakes up in the morning and says, today I'm going to shoot the lights out. I'm actually going to perform well. So that person that you're approaching that has this reputation didn't wake up this morning saying, I'm going to really screw up my reputation. So what you want to do is you want to help them match those desires that they woke up saying they're going to shoot the lights out. First question. Michelle, you've asked, do you have the breathing pacer set at the rate it is for a specific reason? Uh, Thank you for that question, Michelle. Absolutely correct. Yes, that breathing pacer is actually set by the HeartMath folks. That is a HeartMath breathing pacer. If you're familiar with the M-Wave unit, which is a unit that measures your heart rate variability, produced by HeartMath folks, it's an amazing device. You can look it up on the HeartMath website. That breathing pacer is set to 5 seconds breathing in and 5 seconds breathing out. And that actually translates to a rhythm that creates that coherence in your body. Now, HeartMath folks have also said that that is if you aim for that, that's wonderful. If you take deeper breaths, that's also good. But this is the pace that they have done their studies on. So yes, thank you for asking that question, Michelle. I've never had that question asked before. And if I find out a little bit more about it, I will certainly keep you guys informed. But that is, I've had a talk with Roland McCready, who's one of the director of research there when I was there at HeartMath last time, and he talked about the 5 seconds in and out pacing. And it's actually, interestingly enough, mathematically, that pace translates to zero point 0.1 hertz frequency, which is exactly the frequency a component of your heart rate variability, the beat to beat changes in your heart rate. It is exactly the same frequency as what that beat to beat heart rate frequency has to be in order for you to reach that coherent state. Wonderful. Any other question? Or was that too mathematical for people? I'm an engineer. Sorry, I got into the math there. I got all excited because it allowed me to share with you some of my math passion. All right. Well, if there are no more questions, thank you for joining me today. And if you do come up with some questions at some point, uh, please feel free to email me. And if it's something that I feel that we need to share with everybody, then I'll certainly email it to you as an adjunct to this, or I will make mention of it next topic. And of course, by all means, if you have any topics that you want me to talk about that helps you, that answers the question about aligning your heart and your mind, then please toss that up. Maybe we'll make it into a topic next time. And of course, you'll get a replay of this and a shorter version with a Q&A and the lesson also edited and sent out. So you'll have a couple of options to revisit this particular program. So thank you, Anar. Thank you for your comments. And Maria, thank you. I really enjoyed having you here. The time really flew. I really appreciate your participation. I look forward to next week when we'll have the same, more of the same. And I can't wait to figure out what topic we're going to talk about next week. Thank you all. Thank you, Maria, Michelle, Anar, Janet. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you muchly. I'm glad you enjoyed the espresso, Natalie. These few minutes always leave me feeling peaceful. Thank you, Michelle. That's so amazing. Thank you. It warms the heart to hear you say that. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening or morning wherever you may be. Take care.